Let's continue with our discussion. Rule 6, Rule 7, and Rule 8 tayo ngayon. Okay, so sa Rule 6, kinds of pleadings, no? So, saan normally nagtatanong dito? No? Normally nagtatanong dito sa counterclaims. Kasi doon po nagkakaroon ng confusion yung mga examinees, kaya doon tinatanong normally ang mga examinees. Okay, anyway, tatakal din natin lahat, no? Sige. So, complaint, no? Nakalagay po sa Rule 1, di ba? Kung kailan nagko-comment sa isang complaint, no? Nakalagay doon 'yun, no? So, attorney, no? So, ano ba ang significance? Bakit inilalagay o bakit kailangan malaman when is an action, di ba? Deemed commence or when is a complaint deemed commence, no? O when is a civil action deemed commence? Ba't kailangan 'yan? For the purposes of prescription. Para po sa prescription. Okay? So the filing of the complaint commences the civil action and interrupts the prescriptive period of actions under Article 1155 of the Civil Code. Yan ang importance niyan, no? We need to determine when will a civil action commence in order to know when will the prescriptive period be interrupted. Okay? However, if additional defendants are impleaded in a later pleading, such as an amended pleading, no, nag-amend ka para mailagay mo yung ibang mga defendants na gusto mong ilagay. The action is commenced with regard to them from the date of the filing of the later pleading. Okay? Tandaan nyo yan. So, yung original defendant, the action is deemed commenced as to him once the complaint is filed. With regard to the additional defendants, the civil action shall be considered commenced, no, as to them once they are impleaded, okay, in the action. Okay. So, Mr. A entered into a written contract of loan with Mr. B and Mr. C. B and C were joint debtors. Once the loan became joint demandable, Mr. A sent demand letters to B and C for the payment of the same. B and C was not able to pay upon demand. After 9 years have elapsed since the date, Mr. A sent a demand letter to Mr. B. No? Mr. A filed an action for collection of sum of money against him. Okay? So, nag-send, sabihin natin, 2010, no? Nag-send ng demand letter si AKB. At saka kay C, no? Hindi sila nakabayad, 2010. 2019, nag-file ng kaso si A kay B. Okay. And 2 years later, so 2021, no? Mr. A impleaded Mr. C in the same action as a defendant. Question, should the action against Mr. B be dismissed? Pag ganyan po ang tanong, ano ba ang issue? So dapat alam niyo talaga yung caudal. Ang issue po dyan, tinatanong kayo, commencement of the civil action in relation to prescription. Yun ang hugot dyan. So no, the action against Mr. B should not be dismissed. Diba? Under the rules, a civil action is commenced by the filing of the original complaint in court. If an additional defendant is impleaded in a later pleading, the action is commenced with regard to him on the dated, okay. Rating ko to. Ang ano ko? Low energy. Wala ako energy. Ayoko na. Ito. Dahil lang. Article 7 ko sisimulan. Let's continue with our discussion, no? Rule 7 and Rule 8 tayo ngayon. Okay, so Rule 7, parts and contents of a pleading, no? Okay na tayo sa caption, no? Okay na yan. Basahin niyo na lang, no? Dito tayo sa signature and address. Ang interpretation po dati, no? Pag hindi pinirmahan ng lawyer yung ating pleading, no? Ano ang effect? The effect would be magiging mere scrap of paper yung pleading. So, it will be stricken off the record kasi it's a mere scrap of paper. Yun po yung construction before the 2019 amendments. Ngayon pong may amendments na, hindi na po ganun ang interpretation dapat. Paano pag hindi napirmahan ng abogado yung pleading, sabihin natin? Pwedeng mangyari, no? Pwedeng mangyari, baka sa dami nung ifina-file, mayroong nakaligtaan, hindi napirmahan. Paano gagawin natin? Ano ang effect ngayon? Eto na po, no? If the court determines on motion or motu proprio and after notice and hearing that this rule has been violated. How is it violated? Hindi pinirmahan ng lawyer yung pleading. Okay? Ano yung sanction? It may impose an appropriate sanction or refer such violation to the proper office for disciplinary action. Okay? On any attorney, law firm, or party that violated the rule or is responsible for the violation, and so on and so forth. So, ang sanction po ngayon, in case of an unsigned pleading, i-disciplinary case natin yung lawyer. Tama naman eh, kasi siya yung nagpabaya. Hindi mo napirmahan. Okay? So, hindi na po siya mapupunta sa client. Hindi na po yung client yung mapipinalize for this. Okay? Hindi po mere scrap of paper yung pleading. Tanggap yan, no? Pasok po yan, no? Babasahin yan, okay, ng court. Pero may disciplinary action against the lawyer who did not sign the pleading. Kasi nga, saan yan? Diligence yan eh, di ba? Lawyers dapat diligent. So, yun po ang magiging penalty for that. No, basahin na lang natin yung buong paragraph na to. Okay, let's move to the next, no? Kasi mas important to. Yung verification versus certification against forum shopping. Very important. As a general rule, pleadings do not have to be verified. No, hindi kailangan ng verification normally. No, lalo na pag complaint, di naman kailangan ng verification. Exception is if it is specifically required by the law. So example is pleadings filed under the rules on summary procedure. No? Petition for relief from judgment or order, petition for review under Rule 42, 43, and 45, and so on. Kailangan po may verification. Kailangan may affidavit. Okay? Yun lang po yung verification essentially. Meron lang ina-attach after nung allegations, after nung pleading, may i-attach sa likod niyan. Verification yun. At saka certification against forum shopping kung initiatory pleading. Yung pong verification at saka certification against forum shopping, hindi po sila hiwalay na documents. Isang document lang yan. Nakasulat dyan, verification and certification against forum shopping. So, isang diretsyo na lang na ganun yan. Ganun po ginagawa in practice. Tapos, ilalagay na lang sa contents yung lahat ng mga contents, no? Ilalagay nila doon sa contents yung lahat ng mga dapat ilagay for verification like ito. Di ko na nilagay dito kasi na important, no? Di na important for the purposes of the bar. Yung sa verification, ang kailangan ilagay, example is, okay. Nakalagay dyan, I have read the contents and the same are true and correct of my own personal knowledge or based on authentic documents, mga ganun ang ilalagay dyan. This pleading is not intended, is not filed to harass, delay, cause unnecessary delay, or needlessly increase the cost of litigation and so on. Pwede mong ilagay din dyan, I am the party, Anselmo S. Rogel IV is the party and the one who prepared the pleading, something like that, or the one who prepared the complaint. Ganon yung itsura nung verification. No, ilalagay mo, ikaw yung party, based to sa personal knowledge mo, hindi to intended to harass, and so on. Ganon po ang itsura niyan. Okay? Tapos after na mag-certification against forum shopping ka. Pero balik muna tayo sa verification. Okay, sige. Effect of non-compliance with the requirement of verification, no? Tandaan natin, as to verification, non-compliance does not necessarily render the pleading fatally defective. Why? Because verification or yung non-compliance with the requirements for verification shall be considered as formal defect. Formality lang siyang error. Okay? So, the court may order its submission or correction or act on the pleading if the attending circumstances are such that strict compliance with the rule may be dispensed with in order that the ends of justice may be served. Okay? So, verification is merely formal, not a jurisdictional requirement. Hindi po siya ground to dismiss the case. No? Formal defect lang siya. Okay. So, general rule, no? Sabihin natin, ang plaintiff is a corporation. ABC Corporation. Pwede naman yan eh. Kasi kung individual po ang plaintiff, natural person, walang problema. Kasi malamang, yung plaintiff, siya din mismo gagawa ng verification. Kasi siya na rin ang plaintiff, ba't pa niya ipaiiba yun, di ba? O, di basahin niya yung complaint after nun, pirmahan niya ni verification. By the way, ang pipirma po sa complaint, yung lawyer. In practice, lawyer pang pumipirma sa complaint. Pipirmahan ng plaintiff verification sa certification against forum shopping. Ganon, no? So, paano pag ang plaintiff corporation? Sino pipirma? So, as a general rule, the physical act of signing the verification and certification against forum shopping can only be done by natural persons duly authorized either by the corporate bylaws or a board resolution. Normally po, board resolution. Yan. Tapos, yung board resolution, hindi mo na i-attach sa pleading yan. Ang i-attach mo sa pleading, yung secretary certificate na as per board resolution, blah, 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 dated, blah, 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 at a special meeting conducted by the parties, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Juan de la Cruz is hereby authorized to act for and on behalf of ABC Corporation to do the following. Sali to. To sign the verification and certification against forum shopping, to enter into amicable settlement, to resort to agree to alternative dispute resolution, to enter into stipulation of fact, and so on and so forth. Ganun po yan. I-attach yan sa complaint. Yung secretary certificate. Basically, secretary certificate, pero parang SPA yun. Ganun ang style. So, yung natural person na yun na nakalagay doon, nakasaad doon sa secretary certificate, normally, yun lang po ang pipirma for and on behalf of the corporation. Pag iba pumirma, treated as wala pong verification and certification against forum shopping na ginawa yung corporation. So, ulitin natin, sa verification, formal defect lang yan. So, hindi po ground to dismiss yan. Pero yung certification against forum shopping side, di ba treated as wala? That can be a ground to dismiss the action. Bakit po na-dismiss ang action? Na mali tayo sa pagsunod sa kung sino dapat ang pipirma niyan. No? Kailangan may secretarial certificate na naka-attach doon sa ating complaint. Okay? Anyway, may exception, no? May exception. Ito, exception. We have held that the following employees or officials of the company can sign the verification and certification without need of a board resolution. So, hindi kailangan ng secretary certificate. No? Ulitin ko, secretary certificate, yun yung i-attach nyo. Hindi yung board reso. Yung secretary certificate, yun ang yun yung doon na lang isasaad kung anong board resolution, kung anong pangalan ng board resolution na pinag-agrihan yung authority nitong ni Juan de la Cruz. Ganun. Okay, secretary cert lang, hindi board reso. Anyway, who are the officers allowed to sign the verification and certification without need for a board resolution? 5 po, no? Chairperson of the board, so chairman, no? Chairman of the board, president of the corporation, general manager or acting general manager, personnel officer, and employment specialist in a labor case. Okay? Tandaan nyo to ha. Huwag kayong malilito. Meron ding mga officers sa summons. Di ba yan yung president ulit, managing partner, general manager, CORSEC, treasurer, at saka in-house counsel. Iba yun, sa summons yun. To whom will you serve the summons in case the defendant is a corporation? Ito iba. Plaintiff naman to normally. Sino ang pwedeng pumirma sa verification and certification against forum shopping na walang board reso? 5. Okay? Yung sa summons, 6 yun. Ito, 5. Okay? Chairman, president, general manager. Basically, president saka general manager. Matataas na officers yan. Ganun lang kasimple. Chairman, pag kasi ikaw ang chairman of the board, ikaw ang boss talaga ng corporation. Lahat empleyado mo na mga corporate officer. No? Corporate officer, actually, empleyado lang yan ng ano eh, ng board. Sino bang head ng board? Si chairman. Okay? Personal officer and employment specialist in a labor case. Okay? Sige. Okay tayo doon, no? Okay tayo doon. Punta tayo sa certification against forum shopping. Ang verification po, it applies, no? Pwedeng responsive pleading, pwedeng initiatory pleading, ang verification, pwedeng provisional remedy. Depende kung kailanganin ng rules. No? Like yung halimbawa sa preliminary attachment, 'di ba? That's a provisional remedy. Aba, kailangan may verification yung application. Kasi kailangan may affidavit na naka-attach diyan. Okay? Same thing din sa preliminary injunction. Injunction, no? Okay, sige. We move, no? We move. Paano naman ngayon ang certification against forum shopping? Nag-a-apply lang po ito pag initiatory pleading. Oh, example ng mga initiatory pleading, complaint. Malamang. Complaint, petition for certiorari, petition for mandamus, petition for prohibition, yung mga yan, no? Petition for certiorari, mandamus, prohibition, kailangan ng certification against forum shopping. Okay? Later on, matatakal din natin. Attorney, kailangan ba ng petition? Kailangan ba ng certification against forum shopping? Forum shopping kapag petition for review on certiorari? Attorney, hindi naman ano yun, di ba? Hindi naman siya initiatory pleading, di ba? That's a mode of appeal. Di ba? That's Rule 45. Oh, ngayon, attorney, kailangan ba ng certification against forum shopping yan? Kailangan po, no? Section 4, Rule 45, no? Letter E. The petition must contain a sworn certification against forum shopping. No? Kailangan din yan syempre sa petition for review under Rule 43. Ganun din. No? Mas obvious nga po ano eh. Mas obvious yung Rule 43 kasi nga galing sa quasi-judicial agency dadalhin mo sa sa court. Di malamang kailangan ng certification against forum shopping yan kasi ibang branches eh the government, no? So, yung pong nakasulat na initiatory pleading sa Rule 7, hindi po laging initiatory pleading. No? Babasahin din po natin yung mga specific rules. So, kahit na appeal yan, kailangan pa din. Walang problema may petition for certiorari. Sabi ko kayo na petition on certiorari ba? Hindi petition for certiorari, no? Hindi, walang problema kasi initiatory pleading yun eh. Walang problema, no? Paano pag appeal? Aba, kailangan pa rin pala kapag petition for review. Pero pag po notice of appeal at saka record on appeal, hindi kailangan. Why? Sige nga, konting ano na lang ha, bigyan ko kayo ng reason. Kasi po, ang notice of appeal at saka record on appeal, ipa-file mo yan doon sa court na nag-render ng judgment. So kung trial court ang nag-rule, doon mo ipa-file ang kaso. Ang petition for review po, ipa-file mo yan sa higher court. Iba. Kaya po kailangan ng certification yan kasi hindi alam nung higher court kung gaano kadaming petition na yung final mo. Unlike yung notice of appeal. Aba, kung yung court lang na yun ang file mo ng notice of appeal, alam nyo kung ilan ang final mo agad. Eh, sa kanya walang pwedeng i-file eh. Di ba? Kaya hindi na kailangan ng certification against forum shopping. Yet, kapag petition for review kailangan, kasi baka nga may tendency yung tao, yung natalo sa kaso, napakadaming petition ng final. See, that's the wisdom. That's the reason why, that's the wisdom ng rules. But kailangan pag petition for review, kailangan may certification ka. Okay? O sige, let's move ulit. Balik tayo. Certification against forum shopping. Itong tatlo na ito yung normally kinokopya sa certification against forum shopping na pipirmahan ng plaintiff. Ito, pipirmahan niya to. Pipirmahan yan. Mangyayari nga, di ba, verification and certification against forum shopping yan. So, nasa isang dokumento na lang. After ilagay yung kailangang mga isulat for verification, like yung true and correct, based on authentic documents and so on, number 6, number 7, number 8, something like that, doon na ipapasok yung tatlong undertaking na to. Undertaking ba to? Hindi. Yung tatlong paragraphs na to. Hindi po, undertaking. Yung tatlong paragraphs na to. That I did not commence any action. I na yun, hindi na he. Di ba? I, kasi ikaw nga ang pipirma eh. Plaintiff, that I did not commence any action or filed any claim involving the same issues in any court, tribunal, quasi-judicial agency. To the best of my knowledge, no such order, no such other action is pending. Ganun. Tuloy-tuloy, makatatlo. Ganun ang style. Tapos pirmahan mo, isang pirma na lang sa dulo. E din na-comply mo ni verification, na-comply mo ni certification against forum shopping. Okay. A compulsory counterclaim, a comment, and an ex parte petition for issuance of rate of possession do not require a certification against forum shopping because they are not initiatory pleadings. No? Maglalagay nga din ako dito. However, no? Certification against forum shopping is required for petition for review under Rule 42, petition for review on certiorari under Rule 45. Okay, and okay, and may typo. And petition for review under Rule 43. Kahit na hindi initiatory pleading, no? Okay. Failure to comply with the foregoing requirements shall not be curable by mere amendment. So, ibig sabihin, jurisdictional defect yan. Okay? But shall be the cause or shall be cause for the dismissal of the case without prejudice upon motion and after hearing. Ito po pala, no, may comment ako dito. Kung napagbasa na po kayo ng civil procedure, alam nyo naman na ang motion to dismiss, it's a prohibited motion. Yet yung Rule 7, Section 5, naglagay ng ganyan. Ground to dismiss, cause for the dismissal of the case, tapos upon motion. Ano ipa-file mong motion? Motion to dismiss. Eh, akala ka ba prohibited motion na? Di ba? Dapat prohibited motion na ang motion to dismiss. So, bakit meron pang naiwan na ganito? Di ba? So, kailangan iayos po yan, no? Kasi, hindi ata consistent yung Rule 7 at saka yung Rule 15. No? Or kung i-construe natin together, pwede mong sabihin na exception to. Di ba? So sabi doon, prohibited motion ang motion to dismiss, except lack of jurisdiction over the subject matter, litis pendentia, res judicata, prescription. Aba, kung pagko-combine natin yung dalawang provisions together, we can say that this is another exception. Motion to dismiss due to failure to comply with the requirements for certification against forum shopping. Oh, by the way, paano bang nagkakaroon ng failure to comply? Hindi ka nag-file at all ng certification. So, dun sa verification and certification against forum shopping na dokumento, verification lang yung ginawa mo. Hindi ka naglagay ng for certification against forum shopping. In practice, that's how you will fail to comply. Okay? Or hindi ka talaga naglagay at all. Wala ka ng verification, wala ka pang certification. Okay. The submission of a false certification, no, or non-compliance with any of the undertaking shall constitute as indirect contempt without prejudice to administrative and criminal actions. Lastly, no, if the acts of the party or his counsel clearly constitute willful and deliberate forum shopping, ground siya for summary dismissal with prejudice and direct contempt siya, as well as administrative sanctions. By the way, gusto ko munang i-differentiate natin itong failure to comply at saka itong false or non-compliance na to. Ano po ba pinagkakaiba ng dalawa? No? Doon muna tayo pumunta. Okay? Yung una, yung failure to comply na paragraph that talks about lack of certification. Yung pong false, o di alam nyo, false, meron, pero false. Okay? Ano po ang pagkakaiba ng effect sa effect niyan, no? Or how does it happen muna, no? First, no? Sa lack of certification against forum shopping, an initiatory pleading was filed without attaching a certification to it. Sa false certification, an initiatory pleading was filed and a certification was attached to it. However, the certification was false. Bakit po siya false? Because, ang example, because the plaintiff has actually commenced an action involving the same issues. Sabi niya dito, pinangako niya sa court, he has not commenced any action involving the same issues. Pero, meron naman pala siyang final. O default certification yun. Diba? O next, as to the effect. No? Lack of certification against forum shopping is a ground to dismiss the action without prejudice. Yun nga yung nabasa natin ng may upon motion notice pa na tiningnan natin kung parang consistent ba siya sa Rule 15. Okay, yun yun. False certification against forum shopping is not a ground to dismiss the action. Kasi nga, ang sabi po sa Section 5, Rule 7, ano lang siya, administrative criminal at saka indirect contempt. Wala naman sinabi about dismissal eh. However, ang proper ground mo to dismiss is forum shopping. Instead, the proper ground to dismiss the action is forum shopping. O, yun. So, madidismiss pa rin yung kaso pag false certification. Not because of false certification, but because of what the plaintiff did. Alam mo yung ginawa niya? Forum shopping. Doon ka makakapagpa-dismiss. Okay? Next. Lack of certification against forum shopping at saka forum shopping itself. Okay? So, lack of certification, how does it happen? No? An initiatory pleading was filed without attaching a certification against forum shopping to it. O forum shopping naman, it can either be litis pendentia or res judicata. Diba? For litis pendentia, alam nyo naman yung requisites, identity of parties, rights asserted and reliefs prayed for, and judgment rendered in any one of the cases shall amount to res judicata as to the other cases. Okay? Effect. In both cases, they cannot be cured by mere amendment. For lack of certification against forum shopping, the court will dismiss the case without prejudice. Okay? Pag forum shopping as a general rule, no? Or di pala sa general rule, wag pala. Dalawang senaryo. First scenario, the court will dismiss the case without prejudice if the act of the party does not clearly constitute willful and deliberate forum shopping. If the defendant can prove that yung act ng plaintiff is willful and deliberate forum shopping, case-to-case basis yan, no? The dismissal would be with prejudice, no? Yan po yung nakalagay sa last paragraph ng Section 5, Rule 7. Eto, shall be ground for summary dismissal with prejudice. Direct contempt, administrative sanction. Okay, last, no? At may ganito dito. Nope. Delete. Yun. Okay. So, with that being said, I think malino na po tayo, no? Lahat ng mga forum shopping na yan, natakil na natin. Okay? Sige. Lack of full certification at saka forum shopping itself, no? Let's go to verification versus certification. Verification laban sa certification. Verification, formal defect, so curable by amendment, no? Certification against forum shopping cannot be cured by a mere amendment. So jurisdictional in nature. That's why dismiss without prejudice yan. Di ba? Okay. How is the verification requirement complied with? No? It's substantially complied with when one who has ample knowledge to swear as to the truth of the allegations in the pleading signs the verification. Pwedeng yung plaintiff, pwedeng yung witness ng plaintiff. Kasi baka yung witness, he can attest to as to the truth of the allegations kasi nakita din niya yung nakita ng plaintiff. Pwede ang witness, eyewitness. Okay? May personal knowledge din kasi siya eh. On the other hand, no? Sa certification against forum shopping, hindi po pwede ang witness. Ang dapat pumirma niyan, yung plaintiffs mismo. No? Paano po kung maraming plaintiffs? 4 ang plaintiffs. 3 pumirma, 1 hindi. What will happen? The case will proceed. Hindi po siya ground to dismiss. However, the plaintiff who did not sign will be dropped from the suit. The exception is if the parties share a common interest and invoke a common cause of action. Hayaan yun na yun. Okay. Hindi na ganun kalalim. No? Ang magiging tanong. Next. It can be complied with by a person who is not a party to the case. Yun na nga, sinabi ko na nga sa'yo. Pwedeng eyewitness. Can be an eyewitness. No? Kasi if the eyewitness has personal knowledge as to the allegations, as to the facts surrounding the pleading, pwedeng siya ang gumawa ng verification. Okay? On the other hand, sa certification against forum shopping, as we said, plaintiff dapat yan. Okay? May exception. Pwede bang yung abogado na lang pumirma? Abogado ang pipirma ng complaint, abogado rin ang pipirma ng certification against forum shopping. Pwede din. Kailangan may SPA yung abogado. The exception is the counsel of record may sign the same through an SPA issued by the party who is unable to sign the certification. Okay, kung may SPA si attorney, o siya na pumirma, siya na pirma ng complaint, siya pa yung pipirma ng certification against forum shopping. Pero ito nga, iba in practice, yung verification and certification against forum shopping, pinagko-combine sa isa yan eh. So ganda yung plaintiff na lang talaga pumirma para mas madali, no? Anyways, yan, at least alam niya na yung difference, no? Sige. Kung matatanong naman kayo dito, prediction ko dyan sa verification certification against forum shopping na yan. Dito sa table na yun lalabas yung tanong. Dito. Okay, sige. Move tayo. Contents of a pleading, okay rin yun na lang, no? Basta tandaan nyo ngayon, napakahirap na pong mag-file ng pleading. Whether answer ka, whether complaint, mahirap na. Kasi dati, hindi mo kailangang gumawa agad ng judicial affidavit. Okay? Hindi ganun kahirap before. Okay? Pero ngayon, tingnan nyo yung mga kailangang i-attach doon sa pleading pa magpa-file ka na. Names of witnesses who will be presented to prove a party's claim or defense. Sa dulo yan. Nakalagay yung witnesses mo. And then, ilalagay mo doon kung ano yung ite-testify ng witness mo. Summary of the witnesses' intended testimonies. Maiksi lang yan. No? Mr. Juan de la Cruz, Mr. Pedro de la Cruz, Mr. Pedro de la Cruz, he will testify as to blah, 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 blah. That Mr. A, the plaintiff, actually, the Mr. A is the creditor of Mr. B. That they entered into a contract of loan which Juan de la Cruz or which Pedro de la Cruz was an eyewitness, something like that. And such other matters relevant to the allegations in the complaint. Something like that. May ganun dapat sa dulo. No? Tapos, aside from that, i-attach nyo rin yung judicial affidavit dun sa pleading. So, ilalagay mo yung name ng witness, ilalagay mo yung summary ng intended testimony niya, tapos may naka-attach pa na judicial affidavit sa dulo. Kaya napakakapal po normally ng complaint at saka ng answer. Hundreds of pages. Okay? So, general rule, no, only witnesses whose judicial affidavits are attached to the pleading shall be presented by the parties during trial. Mas mahigpit na ngayon. Dati kung sino lang yung mga witness na sinabi mo sa pre-trial, yun lang ang magte-testify. Ngayon, hindi lang yun. Dapat inilagay mo na siya nung nag-file ka ng complaint o nag-file ka ng answer. Kung hindi, hindi na rin makakapag-testify yan. On top pa to sa pre-trial. Okay? Next na kailangan mong i-attach lahat ng annexes mo. Documentary and object evidence. Andun na lahat. Okay? Sige. Let's move to Rule 8. By the way, kung matatanong kayo dun sa parts of a pleading na to, contents of a pleading na to, probably sa judicial affidavit side kayo matatanong dyan. No? Etong sino pwede mag-testify. No? In relation to rules on evidence. Okay. Move tayo sa manner of making allegations. No? So, matatanong kayo dito, actionable documents. Diyan kayo matatanong. No? Kasi ang actionable documents, malalaman nyo later on, no, sa rules on evidence, ako din naman ang mag-discuss nun. Related po ang actionable documents at saka parole evidence rule. Ganon sila, magkapatid yan. Malalaman nyo later on. Anyway, para hindi tayo masyadong magulo, sa actionable documents muna tayo, sa basic muna tayo mag-discuss, no? Nilagay ko rin pala dito yung, may isa pa palang pwede kayong pagtanungan dito, no? Sa affirmative defenses. Affirmative defenses at saka actionable documents yan. Mainit-init, diyan kayo matatanong. Okay, so sa actionable documents, unang tanong, what is an actionable document? Baka kasi pumunta kayo agad doon sa how to deny an actionable document, hindi nyo naman alam what is an actionable document. Okay, so an actionable document is a document upon which an action or defense is based. So saan po ba, ano po ba ang foundation? Ano ba ang basis ng complaint? Ano ba yung foundation? Ano ba yung basis ng answer? Okay. So, tandaan niyo po, no, sa isang complaint, napakadaming attachments niyan. Naka-attach yung, kung ano yan, may usapang lupa, naka-attach yung photocopy ng TCT, naka-attach yung photocopy ng tax deck, no? Maraming naka-attach dyan, naka-attach yung kontrata nila, kung ano may kontrata na yun, naka-attach yung, pwede for address, naka-attach yung ID, government issued ID, may address, maraming i-attach dyan. Okay? So, in an action for collection of sum of money, the promissory note and the demand letter are actionable documents. Meanwhile, the copy of the government ID of the plaintiff is not an actionable document. Pero lahat sila documents. Why? Kasi ang basis po ng collection suit, yung promissory note, kasi promissory note is the proof na meron talagang utang si defendant. And demand letter, actionable document din yan. Kasi that will show na may in delay na o nag-incur na ng in delay. Kasi you fail to pay upon demand. Yun ang mga actionable documents. O paano pag-action for specific performance naman based on a contract of sale? Yung deed of sale lang, actionable document. Kung gusto nung mag-demand letter din siya. O di demand letter, that's also an actionable document. Pero yung titulo, hindi. Titulo ng lupa, titulo ng kotse, titulo ba tawag doon, no? O RCR ng kotse, mga ganyan. Hindi yan kailangan. Hindi pala hindi kailangan. Hindi yan actionable document. So you need to learn how to differentiate which documents are not actionable, which documents are actionable. Okay? Para alam mo kung mag-a-apply na ba yung Section 8 Rule 8. Okay? So punta tayo sa Section 8 Rule 8. General rule is the adverse party must specifically deny under oath the actionable document. Pag hindi niya ginawa yon, may dalawang effect. The genuineness of the actionable document shall be considered admitted and the due execution of the actionable document shall be considered admitted. What are the exceptions? Dalawa. The adverse party does not appear to be a party to the instrument. Next, compliance with an order for an inspection of the original instrument is refused. Okay, hindi pala ako nakapaglagay ng example dito. Ano po yung example ng first exception? Madali na yung second eh. 'Di ba? Nag-request na kunin yung original nung kasi po sa pangalawa pala muna tayo para mabilis. Kasi po yung i-attach mo diyan sa complaint mo, photocopy lang. Hindi ka mag-a-attach ng original document diyan. Kaya ka nga magpi-pre-trial eh kasi sa pre-trial doon magkakaroon ng marking. Para mabigyan ko na kayo ng context. Pag nag-marking kayo, dadalhin niyo yung abogado ka. Dadalhin mo yung original. Para ngayon, pagtatambalin po yung photocopy na nasa court records at saka yung original mo. Pagkukumparahin, pag walang discrepancy, mark. Ganon. Pero yung nandun po sa complaint na ipapasa mo sa court, ipafile mo sa court, photocopy lang lahat ng mga annexes dyan. Okay? So, paano pag nag-request for inspection? Yung, sabihin natin, yung defendant, hindi mo binigay yung original document o hindi niya na kailangan mag-deny under oath. Eh, ikaw nga yung ipakita yung original eh. Baka may tinatago ka. Ba't kailangan mag-under oath pa nung defendant? That's the reason why that this is an exception. Anyway, kung matatanong naman kayo, kaya ko inuna to, hindi kayo dito matatanong. Dito kayo magandang tanongin sa exception na to. Bigyan ko kayo ng example. Sabihin natin, nagbentahan ng lupa si A at saka si B. So si A ngayon, nag-execute sila ng notarized deed of sale, no? So si A ang seller, si B ang buyer. O later on na i-transfer na po yung pangalan ng lupa kay B. Years later, yung kapitbahay, si C, yung adjoining lot owner, napansin niya yung survey nung lupa ni B, mali. Mali yan. Sabing ganun. Kasi kumain na kayo ng lupa ako. 'Di ba? 100 square meters lang yung lupa nyo dapat. 150 yung kinuha nyo. So, dapat yung extra 50 akin yan. So, ano ngayon na ipa-file na kaso ni... Ano ngayon na ipa-file na ano? Ano ngayon na ipa-file na kaso niyan? Action for annulment of deed of sale. Okay? Ay, mali yun. That's a wrong example.